Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Beefmaster Banner. We are your host, Josh Morrison and Jared Strickland. How you doing, Jared?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Doing good. Hoping for some rain. It's awful dry around here.
Yeah, it's raining here right now. We've been fortunate to get some rain.
Well, hopefully it'll come this way. We got a few sales to go over real quick. We've got the springtime in Texas sale. There were 53 total lots, totaled $139,150. And the average was 26.2547.
The high seller ended up going to Rick Seeker with a high price of $8,500 for his bull. The genetics on that was Swinging Bee Lukenbach, and then Time Swinging Bee Rose of My Heart.
Congratulations to him. That was a good sale. The only other one right now we have to go over was the Windy Hills. That was a full dispersal. They sold a lot of stuff. So if we get this wrong or if somebody sees something different, always let us know. But what I counted was 73 purebred lots, come to a total of $269,900. Looks like it averaged about 36.9726.
And the high seller there was a cow brought $11,000, and that was a McAllister times a black Shanrock Black Ruby.
And that was sold as a pair. So I don't remember what the calf was, but that was sold as a pair. So good sales. Nothing to complain about on them for sure. But tonight we have Ty Agee here of TA Beefmasters. How you doing, Ty?
Doing well. How are y'all guys?
Doing great. Glad to have you. Glad to have you. So just tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us where you're from. Just tell us how long you've been in the breed.
Good deal. I'm actually currently live in Bartlett. I'm actually from a community about 80 miles north of here called Dyersburg. My family on both sides raised cows, also had dirt work businesses and row crop. So I grew up in this. I am married, got 3 boys. We operate a totally registered herd. Right now, we have had commercial cows in the past, but right now just strictly registered. I switched over to registered in 1997. Had a commercial herd with my grandfather up to that point before I switched completely out. So it's been many moons I've been doing this.
Beefmasters has been good to you then, huh?
Yes, sir. I absolutely love the breed.
Well, since we're kind of talking about your cattle, you got, I know you, especially seen on Facebook and some ads, tell us a little bit about what you got, some of the bulls you're running, and if you got any favorite cows that's in your herd, and
I'll be
maybe
glad
some
to.
tips on them.
Sounds good. Right now, predominantly running 4 bulls, which actually I've got a calf crop out of Master Link, and Master Link's gone. That was a Larimore bull that I shared with Ronnie Teague that he had gotten out of the Texoma sale. I'm using Big Tex, the TA 913 bull, and Coverboy being the main bull at this point. I'll probably have to switch gears next year because I have so many females out of him. Coverboy and Big Tex are actually half brothers. They got the same sire. It's a Lissy bull that goes back to Maverick and goes back to some hilltop breeding on the top. The only difference is Coverboy is a 1202 Frenzel cow that goes back to foundation breeding and Frenzel breeding on the bottom. Big Tex actually is out of the 0824 cow and was bred by Derek Frenzel. So all those are beef on forage bulls. I've had, except for TA 913, which I raised, he actually is out of a LL Game Changer. I know there's 2 Game Changers. Clark's got one and Larimore's got one. The LL Game Changer's out of a double L and out of a TA cow, 313 cow. The TA 913 bull, I'm really high on. He's in, I think, 7 of the EPDs. He's in the top 20%. He's top 1% for ribeye, 1% weaning, top 4 for yearling. He checks off all the things. Now we've just got to get some calves grown and see what he can really do. Real excited about him. Partnered with Cover Boy with Jeff Lumen. I'm partnered with Big Tex with Jerry Thomas. Jared Gentry is partnered with me and bought in half on the 913 bull. In regards to cows, there's one cow in my herd that stands out that's actually 913's mom. That's the 6427 cow. She's a multi-sired laster cow. She's a 2006 model. She's raised 2 beef on forage bulls. She has worked with any bull that I put her with, whether it be the 220 Jack bull I had out of Double L, or 226, or Cover Boy, or Big Tex, or Master Link. She's just hit a home run every single time. The thing about her is just the longevity, which I think is how you make money in the beef industry. Is these cows, these good Beefmaster cows, will last forever. And with that, I get a good udder. She maintains her flesh well, and once again, you get a calf about if you wanted to, you could leave a bull out there year round and probably get a calf every 11 months. But she's backed up as far as she can go. She would have a calf every 11 months, but she's super fertile, and like I say, the longevity is very important to me. But those cows stand out. That cow, it really stands out in my mind being the best thing I've got.
Good deal. Longevity is a big thing that I don't know that it's talked about enough, Ty. That is probably, to me, one of the most important things, and I think sometimes maybe we take that for granted.
Right.
You know, and not meaning to, but I think that is a very important quality in a cow.
True.
Some of y'all listening out there, you know, I've always, or lots of folks, especially guys that's been doing this a long time, you know, you build them herds off of those good cows, and y'all gonna be writing these numbers down at 64-27, right, Ty?
Yes, sir.
Something like that come through a sale, you need to be looking at it.
Well, and you know that a lot of that, you know, the things that intrigue me is like Elbar's program. You know, they preach that, and their cattle will last forever and ever. And I, like I say, once again, I believe in my heart that's the way you end up with that money, is you have those cows. I have several cows that are 15, 16, 17 years old, still producing. And if you don't let them lay down on you, you know, you really hit a home run with those kind of cattle. In my mind, longevity is critical.
It's much more important than getting a lot of money out of one. You know, just get consistent money out of 8 or 10. You know, you're doing way better.
Exactly.
Way better.
So you mentioned sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was just kind of not trying to switch gears, but I was just we went through the bulls there, and I was just wanted to let the listeners know if Ty, if you have semen available on those bulls, is that for sale? Do they need to contact you with that, or if
I've got some semen on Cover Boy. Me and Jerry's got some semen on Big Tex. I'm probably not gonna collect on 913. And I'm gonna tell you why. A lot of times you get this semen flooded out there, and you start selling a bunch, and everybody gets the semen. I feel like you can dilute it, and in my mind, I'm probably going to give this about 3 or 4 years to get some calves out of him, get some heifers having calves out of him before I ever do anything. I know you got to kind of hit when things are hot, but I believe I'm going to go a little different route with the 913 bull.
I got you.
Yeah,
nothing wrong with trying that. I want to go back real quick to the cows though. We were talking about your cows. Something that, and this is more for folks, maybe newer folks, and I think we've said this before. Something Jared told me one time is sometimes the best cow is maybe one of the not as pretty cows in your herd, or not as numbered up cows in your herd. Do you agree with that, Ty?
I agree with that 100%. You can, and it's all beauty's in the eye of the beholder, but and that's, to me, the foundation cattle, the BBU genetic cattle, have a different look. I think y'all would both agree with me on that. But those hard doing cattle, a lot of times are giving everything that they can to that calf. They might not look like a diamond out there in the pasture, but they're the ones that are 1,400 pound cows that are bringing those 800 pound calves up. And those cows are valuable. I've got a little old cow that's 1,200, and she doesn't really knock it out of the park as far as going to the sales, but every year she'll bring me up a 750, 800 pound calf. If I had about 200 of those, you'd make money, but like I say, I do believe those cattle like that Jared's describing are they're out there. Larry Larimore, who is a dear friend of mine, he'll hold them all. He doesn't care, because he knows that some of those that he might not like at the time are going to end up being superstars later. So, and I've kind of gotten into that practice too. I'll try to hold everything I've got, even if it doesn't look exactly like I want it to look. That, around that 9, 10, 11, 12 month deal, I still try to hold it, and just go ahead and let's try them on. So.
Well, that's interesting. Well, trying to change a little gears, I guess, a little bit. We just wanted to ask you, I know you're a part of several sales. You can start wherever you want to on those, but
Okay.
just the kind of sales that you're a part of and where people might see you. And I know a lot of people know you, but there may be newer breeders that don't, and maybe looking for your cattle. So what kind of sales are you a part of?
I'm part of Beef on Forage. We have 3 sales a year, 4 sales actually. Have that maternal sale in November. Of course, Texome was in March, the Florida sale being in September, and then Brenham being in October. Those are predominantly bull sales. That there's one that's a female. We've incorporated a lot of females into those sales in the last few years. I can't say enough about Derek Frenzel. Derek lives and breathes bulls. That's all he does is try to get out and sell bulls. I'll say something about my friend Larry, Mike Moss, Derek Inzer. Those guys, they work super hard to try to make that thing work really well, and really proud of what we do down there. I feel like we put out a good product, and that the proof is that people come back year in, year out. They might leave us for a year or two, but they always come back. So in regards to satellite sales, Central States, I'm a part of them. I'm actually on the board of Central States. We've got a sale coming up next week. I believe, Jared, you are bringing something. Yeah. So we've got that coming up next week. That's a really good sale in regards to females, pairs, breds. They do really well there. They have one sale a year, and it's in Locust Grove, Oklahoma. The SEBA, I'm part of them. We have our sale in late August. Jared's and his father are a big part of that. I really enjoy that because that's really close. There's not a long drive, it's so that I enjoy that. And to say, while I'm on that subject, what is interesting is since we've moved out of Tunica, there was 3 sales in West Tennessee last year that just set it on fire. Jerry Thomas's, the SEBA satellite sale, and of course Clark's and Cottage Farm sale, which I'm really happy about. To say that West Tennessee, we had 3 really good sales here last year, and then me and Larry Moore managed the Arkansas sale, and that'll be September 10th this year. We do that for free. We've been members over there forever. I bought my first registered cow out of the Arkansas sale from the Gronas years and years ago. We have a consignment dinner on Thursday. We check the cows in Thursday afternoons and Friday morning. Then we have a grading that afternoon around 2. We have a big dinner at Rabbit Ridge. It's a farm over there that raises their own beef, chicken, and pork off the farm and sell it. Really neat deal. Then we have our sale the next day, and we also have a sale just once a year. We do have a field day that we just had a week ago. over in Quitman. So which to try to keep everybody engaged, on point. So, but those are the main four that I'm involved with.
Yeah, it sounds like you're very involved. I mean, that's a lot of sales in a year to be involved with, but that's a good thing. You get to get out and see lots of folks that way.
I love all those folks that are at parts of that. I mean, I wish that I had more time to drive around spots like go see Kendall McKenzie, maybe down in Louisiana, or I went to Lone Star last year and I was very impressed with what they were doing, and to see Jerry Davis. But they've really got a good thing going on down there. But I wish I had more time, because it's just exciting to get out here lately, especially, and see how good these sales are doing. Everybody's kind of animated right now, and I feel like we're on the edge of something good.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Yeah.
All right, so switching some gears again, I guess you're on some BBU committees. So could you describe kind of what you're doing there as far as what committees you're on?
Yes, sir. I'm on the BBU board, the national board, and I'm actually on a few committees. I'm over the membership committee. I'm on long range advertising and seed stock marketing. In regards to membership, I think it would be, y'all probably don't realize this, but we lose approximately, and this isn't just a Beefmaster problem. This is a registered business problem. You lose about 500 members a year that you have to retrieve, and we're on about a 5th year of growth. So if you can get that in your mind, that we got to lose 500, we've got to make that up, and then plus each year, the registered breeders about 3 or 4 years is where you're at if somebody stays in the registered business, which I find interesting. And we'll get to that in a minute, some of my thoughts on why that is. But our big goal last year and this year has been membership retention, not so much going out and having to grab new people to make up those numbers. We've tried to get on the phone, call people up, ask them why you are not, joining back up. And you're going to get some, I'm retiring, someone passed away, wanted to go another direction, name your scenario. It used to be angry calls. You'd get when you'd call somebody, they'd be angry at you. But now, it's not so much. It's really been positive the last few years. You get some good information back, and you'll remind some people, and they say, "Oh man, I forgot to send that in." And so that's kind of been our goal, is just to retain what we have, so we don't have those big numbers to have to overcome. Right now, we're sitting at about 1,700 actives between juniors. Lifetimes, the whole ball of wax, we're probably at about 3,500, but like 1,700 actives right now. I text Kylie this morning, and that was a number today. So, and the Seed Stock Marketing Committee that Larimore and Alyssa Lissy chair, they've actually probably been as active as anybody has. They have really been pushing these standards for these satellites and the marketing groups in regards to pushing the envelope and getting better in regards to performance and quality. They're pretty much challenging people to say, like, well, can you maybe ask people to have weaning weights this year, or maybe do yearling weights? As you know, Jared, last year with SEBA turned the crank a little bit, and if you consigned to the futurity, you had to sell, which they hadn't done in the past. And then they put all kinds of rules in place. I think you had to have DNA, you had to have weaning weights, you had to have this, you had to have that. But it was really, it paid dividends. I mean, it ended up working out. Central states and Arkansas right now have where you have to have scan data, yearling weight, weaning weights on your opens, breds, and bulls. So, Lone Star's got some in place. Louisiana just put some in place. I know, Live Oak has done great work in the last year in regards to their bull sale. They put a lot of things in place, and I do think that we're moving in the right direction. And like I said, that's a lot of that's Larimore and Alyssa and their committee working real hard. I'm a member of advertising. Robert Scott's over that one. And we're responsible for where we're going to allocate that money in regards to trying to generate interest in the breed. We've got several programs, and as y'all know, things are changing where it's not so much, the cowman does well for us, pay weight does well for us, but outside of that, a lot of that is driven towards Facebook and email blast and things like that. We've got several programs like that co-op program where you like y'all, a satellite or a marketing group could call up and get almost, you could get 40% of your bill paid on your advertising towards your sale. But they kind of give you the ads and the criteria, but there is a co-op program that maybe you will pay some money and pick up some things like that. And I think we don't do a great job as an organization of getting those things kind of out to where people know about it, but we're trying to do a lot better with that. Then long range, Derek Thompson's over that. That's basically trying to look ahead, to look in the crystal ball and see what we're needing to do to kind of stay caught up with the times and make some moves, building towards the future. And that's very important for us right now, is because like I said, there's a bunch of things going on that are exciting, going to come up in the next year in regards to BBU, but we are, I can assure you, we're trying very hard to help our members and to push forward in the beef industry.
Good deal. That's some really good information. I'd like to talk a little more about some of them, if you're okay with that, just a little more in depth, maybe. Sure. Talking about long range, that's important really in any business, I think, wherever you look at, because if you're not staying ahead of the curve, you're falling behind in today's world.
That's right. And if you're not in the lead, the view never changes. Isn't that right? So it's kind of the deal. The thing of it is we have to realize where we're at as far as a breed, in my opinion. And once again, disclaimer, I should have done this at the very beginning, but anything that I say, this is all Ty Agee. If I have to vote for stuff in regards to the whole, it might not be the same thing, but don't call and let anybody at BBU have it tomorrow for anything I've said. This is all strictly me. So, but in regards to long range, with grain prices, fertilizer, hay, just everything just going wackadoo like it has, we are lucky that we have feed efficient cattle. The buzzword is sustainability, so who has more sustainable cattle than Beefmasters? I mean, in my mind, we're in a great position to push that, because, it's gotten rough out here all of a sudden, and I don't know about y'all guys, but I don't see it changing anytime soon. I've listened to several people talk about corn. You think about it, we're one bad corn crop away from, something that it's just not, it's been a really bad situation. So I think that raising Beefmaster cattle right now make all kinds of sense, especially crossing the Beefmaster cattle. You're going to end up with a animal that can make it, in a bad situation. And then right now that's looking pretty good to me, so, anyways, but that long range, you're correct. We've got to look ahead of the future to make sure that we get ahead of the rest of these. There's no reason that we're not the king of the eared breeds, and that's what we need to work on. We need to work on taking our market share, more market share from Brangus and Charlet and the other eared breeds, because we've got the best product. So
I agree with you. I might be partial, but I agree with you.
Yeah.
And kind of going back to the membership, I think it was last month's Calvin, there was a list a mile long of new breeders you were talking about.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
it's very encouraging to see that, just to see everything growing.
Well, and in regards to that, then let's back up for a second and we'll talk about membership. In my mind, that's what we might be deficient on as well in regards to new members. A lot of times they end up getting in a situation where they come in hard and heavy. And a lot of times these guys are younger commercial guys and things like that. They get in, they come in hard, and they get disenfranchised with what's going on. And then they're out, as quick as they came in. I think it's critical just the education part of it and making sure that somebody grabs these people by the hand and not be self-serving, but look at the big picture and go like, hey, we want you around 10, 15, 20 years from now. We want to teach you as fast as we can the 101 of the Beefmaster breed and not try to, I feel like a lot of these guys get gutted, right off the bat. And then once they do, they're over it, so we've got to educate these people, young and old, when they get into the breed and let them know that there is help available, get them to BBU and let them talk to them, school them a little bit, try to teach them to get up with a breeder that's been around for a while, and somebody that's reputable and will help them and not try to just get in their pocket. But I do think that's critical.
Yeah, I think so too. I think you're exactly right. And that's probably the best way to explain it. I don't always like to put people on the spot, but I always like to ask two questions. It's not too in depth, but I do like to ask. So as far as new breeders, what is one piece of advice you would give to a new breeder?
Man, that's a tough one. And I was thinking about that earlier today. I actually threw y'all two in the pot, and I threw 6 other guys in the pot, and y'all were all different. And I was thinking about that. In my mind, if I had it all to do over again, I'd say, in coming from the commercial end of it, I would have slowed down and took a deep breath. I'd gone and gotten some Beefmaster bulls, fell in love with them, and then all of a sudden started selling 3 good commercial cows to go buy 1 registered cow that wasn't as good as one of my commercial cows. I was 28, I guess, and I really didn't look for any guidance. I thought I knew pretty much everything as it was. So that was a little bit of my problem, and I think if I would have had somebody, that's going back to what I was saying a minute ago, if I'd have had somebody to help me kind of keep me through the pitfalls of this, because I ended up with a whole lot of problems and my commercial herd gone, basically, with some cattle that wasn't as good as what I had. So I would tell people, a new breeder, to slow down. AI gets you there pretty quick. I would say AI more. And I would, and I would try not to get in such a hurry. I know everybody wants to get to the finish line super quick. But it's not, you don't have to do it right then, and you should try to compete with yourself. Don't get so worried about all the, the noise around you. Just try to compete with yourself, get better than you were the year before, and it'll come. I mean, it'll come. I mean, if I had to do it again and I knew what I knew now, I would have probably done the upgrading program, and I would have started that way. And I just would have took the bulls, done the A6s, the second crosses, and gone that route. Now that I'm where I'm at, I wouldn't trade it for the world, but it took forever, and several mistakes to get to this point. Here I am again, with all these females out of these good bulls. I'm fixing to have to make a choice and find a good bull to go on top of them, and I might make a mistake, I might not, but let's, but it's all trial and error, man. And you try to make good decisions and pick things that are, that work with your herd. And once again, I think it goes back to longevity, sustainability. You've got to do what works for you, and don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Do what's best for you.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice. I mean, it's a long-term game, and if you get on the wrong track midway or early on, you got to turn that bus all the way around. And that sounds like some really good advice. The slow and steady sometimes is what wins the marathon.
That's right. And the thing of it is just like AI. I don't use that. I don't use that as much as I should. That bull that Corey Hines has, that red bone bull. I've sat here and told myself, I should be AI into that bull, but but I hadn't, got all these goofy traits, and I've sit there and tell myself to do it, and I hadn't, and that I'm kicking myself because I feel like I should have got out on the front end of that deal. But I do think AI gives you the best chance to win as far as a new breeder, to get you the biggest results, and as far as short term. Still though, it's a marathon, and you've got to pace yourself and know your limitations and what you're capable of, and you can and you can't do. And once again, I do think that that's critical to helping these people stay in the breed. We don't want these people to leave. We want them to stay in, and because the more tentacles we have out in the cattle industry, the better we are.
Yeah, I agree with you. Going back to, like you mentioned, the AI thing, especially being a new breeder, that's a good way to get your hands on some really high-end genetics for a lot cheaper price, and do a lot with it,
Exactly.
And but I guess kind of leading into the next question here towards the end, and you've kind of been leading into it really the whole night, but we wanted to, I respect your opinion a lot, and I wanted to see what you thought. But what can we do as a breed whole? What can we do to make the Beefmaster breed better, breed wide as a group, as collectively, I guess?
Well, and that's the $20 question. My thinking is the one big obstacle is uniformity. I think uniformity is a big problem with us, but of course we're a composite breed, and that might continue to be an issue. I do believe that we let them do that to us. We all know that a paint calf and a dun calf and a red calf and a motley face calf, all out of the same sire out of your herd, and you pop a paint, that paint's probably going to ultrasound the same as those others, but we've let them dictate that to us years ago, to where that was just an excuse to screw us out of those calves. But here we are, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, here we are. So in this part of the world, me and you both know what they do to those calves. They will dock the fire out of you, and some guy that forgot more than you ever knew will tell you that it might have some longhorn or cariente in it, and they'll take your calf so they can get a load up and send it off and make the money. So I mean, that's where we're at. So
I always wanted to ask them, have you ever seen a longhorn with that much muscle before?
Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing. So I mean, they're just trying to get a pot up, to make the money. So anyways, but we're here, so me personally, a mott and a blaze face and a white face and a dun don't bother me one bit. I don't care. I can sell them. I can sell bulls like that, and they're just, that doesn't bother me any. I try to stay away from the paint cattle. Now, there's people that have niches, and they sell those cattle still, and for big money, and I'm glad for them. I think that's a hurdle for us, though, and they're going to use that to hurt us, in as far as the sale barns. That's another thing. We've got to all try to get away from those sale barns. I mean, that we've got to not let them have those cattle. They just can't have them, and we've got to figure out other avenues. I know Derek Thompson and then feed cattle up there started for a lot of our guys now. I know Skelton's been feeding cattle up there forever. I know Justin sends cattle, but I do think we've got to get away from those barns and show people what our cattle can do. I also feel like a big problem is we're almost like 5 breeds inside a breed. When I say there's 5 different breeds within a breed, I think if people started using each other's cattle like they've done, that I believe that you're getting a little bit of shot of hybrid bigger, and people are understanding the need to do that with each other's cattle. That if this guy looks over here and says, well, I might breed some of those foundation heifers, and grab a couple, and they get some progress in their herd and push forward. Then, this guy says, I'm going to buy this BBU bull. I've been in sales before, and somebody not know me, and they would call somebody had to have a pedigreed animal. And the one I'm thinking about right now, it had a named bull that like a BBU bull, and on the bottom it had a foundation bull, and they called the top hot and the bottom cold. They were saying that the foundation was cold, and I thought, that's crazy to me to think that they won't even look at that or maybe they just don't know the numbers, or they don't know this, that, and the other. And it's the same with the foundation guys. A lot of times they won't, if it's something that's pedigreed, got a name and this, that, and other, they won't breed it. And I feel like we've all got to figure out how to utilize each other's stuff to make us better. Because I do think there's a lot to be said about crossing these cattle in and out. And once again, if we can all just get together and start pushing forward, there's no reason that Beefmasters cannot be the king of the eared breeds. I know the Angus thing. I don't worry about that anymore. I mean, CAB, you don't even have to be an Angus cow to be in the CAB program. But it is what it is. It's the Coca-Cola of the cattle industry, and that's the thing. I mean, they have done a great marketing job, but they can't do what we do. So I mean, we've got to get in our lane, know what we're good at, excel in it, and take more market share, because we're at that point where if we need to put out more quality bulls, that's it. We've got to recognize what the commercial cattle industry wants from us, and we need to push that. That's basically what a registered guy's here for. They're here to serve the commercial cowman, and we've got to figure out how to push the envelope on that and take more market share.
Yeah, I agree. And there is a lot of demand for our bulls right now. I mean, with all the bull sales and all the money that these bull sales are bringing, I mean, there's demand all over the nation for them right now.
There is. And not to downplay the bulls, but on some of these elite sales, some of these people are not getting a bull, and that's concerning to me too. It's great to sell the $5, $6, $7, $8, $10,000 bulls, but a lot of these people are coming to these sales and they're leaving with no bull, and that's concerning, because we don't have enough bulls out there. We don't have enough quality bulls out there to service these people, and they come and they go like, well, I can't buy a $10,000 bull, and they leave, and that's something else to think about too. And I know none of us want to acknowledge that, because we don't want to be the guy to sell the $3,000 bull, but it is something to think about. We need more quality bulls out there, and we need them out there soon, but you can't flood the market with junk either. You have to give them something good, or we'll just lose a customer forever, so.
And that goes back to those, sorry, Jared, that goes back to those females there that you were talking about earlier. It all goes back to the mamas.
Yeah. And then that's the thing. And hey, and I'm glad you said that. We can't lose our soul. We've got to realize that we're a maternal breed, and we need to keep pressing on this carcass and ultrasound and everything we're doing in the performance. But we can't ever forget what got us to the dance, and we are a maternal breed, and that's the reason these guys come and want these cattle, to have these good replacement heifers, and to push those scales down at the sales as well. But they want those replacement females. You can't keep a E6. I mean, they've just become so sought after. But that's what we've got to hang our hat on, that we're a maternal breed, and we need to never forget that.
That's a true statement right there. And kind of going back to what you were saying about the bulls, you get those guys there that's probably been buying an Angus bull for $2,500 or $3,000 from their neighbor down the road. But if you get them to buy, if you sell some of them $3,000 bulls, they may see the value in them. And the next time they come to sell, need a new one, they may be willing to pay that $5,000 or $6,000.
Exactly. And that's kind of my mind frame on my mindset on that is, we've got to somehow get more good bulls out there, so these guys can get them because there's just not a lot. If you think about it, guys, it's just, you've got probably, 1,200 sell at public auction, probably. In our sales, as far as Beefmaster sales, maybe 12. I hadn't really counted, but I bet, just going into my head here,
that's probably close.
Yeah, Beef on Forge and Next Gen and Live Oak and Red River and Southern Plains and OHOA and Emmons, and you've got all them guys. I bet it's probably about 1,200. So that's not a lot of bulls, in the grand scheme of things. So even if it's 1,500, that's not a lot of bulls. We need to quit bashing on each other, and we need to worry about getting more bulls out there and finding more people to buy those bulls. And we'd all be good. If the money gets better and everybody's making money, it solves a lot of problems.
That's a true story.
Yeah.
That's probably the most true thing. I mean, you
Yeah.
said not
Yeah.
that you said anything untrue, but that is the statement of the night right there.
Yes, sir. It fixes a lot of woes. So
absolutely. Well, Ty, I really, really appreciate you coming on tonight. Can folks, if they want to, can they call you, talk to you about cattle?
Man,
so
that's the big thing about this deal, is as far as the Beefmasters. I mean, I love the people, man, and I mean this with all my heart. I'm accessible to anybody. If I don't know you, or if I do know you, or if you got a question that you don't want to ask out on a public forum, or you don't want to do this, and if I don't know the answer, I'll find out. But I'll do my best to answer you. But you can more than welcome to call me. There's not a time that I won't take these calls. And if I don't take a call and think it's spam or something, just text me and just say, hey man, it's so and so, I want to ask you a question, because that's what I'm here for. I signed on to serve for 3 years, and I intend to take on all comers. And if you've got a question, fire. If you're mad at me, call. I don't care. I'll talk to you. So, but just like I say, I'm accessible. So anybody wants to ask anything, call anytime.
Awesome. Perfect. And before we go, there is a few sales that I want to make sure everybody knows about. Obviously, the first one is May 14th, Central States. We just talked about that one a little bit ago, in Locust Grove, Oklahoma. That'll be a good sale to watch. It'll be on DV Auction. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. May 21st is Swingin' Bee and Friends sale in Slato, Texas. Also, May 21st is Red River Performance Group heifer sale in Paris, Texas. And then rounding out May is going to be May 28th, the Southern Alliance Beefmaster Marketing Group sale in Coleman, Alabama. So still a few sales left for the month. Probably be some pretty good sales too. So, Ty, we really, really appreciate you coming on. This was a blast. Hopefully we'll have you on another time too.
Man, you can call me anytime. I'm not quite as polished as your other speakers, but I did my best.
I like it. I'm not either. So we're in good shape.
Yeah, I thought you did a great job. I
really tried my best for y'all guys, man. And hey, I tell y'all that y'all too. I can think of Corey and Adam up there in the Carolinas. I can think of my 2 guys over here, Matt and Nick, that raise commercial cows, young guys. Y'all are what this thing's going to go to in the next few years, and y'all are going to be the leadership, and y'all need to be doing things right now to push forward as well, and because we're going to be counting on y'all to lead us on into the future.
We'll try. Jared, I don't know if that's scary or exciting. I don't know which one of the two that is.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes, I guess.
Yes, sir.
That's it. But as always, folks, like, share, comment, subscribe, like us on Facebook. We're actually going to be on YouTube here pretty quick. We're trying to expand into different platforms. So if you don't have the certain platforms we're on now, you can start finding us on YouTube. So as always, we thank you, and we'll see you on the next episode. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all having me.